It is on!
The earliest announcement ever for the biggest wellness summit on record. Get ready to join 1,000 wellness enthusiasts at the Melbourne Convention and Exhibition Centre on, wait for it, new dates, September 10 and 11, 2016.
Get ready to see your favourite Wellness Couch presenters as you've never seen them before.
Regular tickets to the summit will be $297, but for a very limited time, up until Christmas, get your friends together for a special super early bird rate of 5 tickets for the price of 2. That's less than $120 per person, less than $10 per hour to experience over 16 hours of Powerhouse Wellness.
And even better, every ticket goes in the draw to have an incredible Christmas prize from the Wellness Couch, which is 1 ticket to the 2016 Wellness Breakthrough and a VIP upgrade to the summit.
Wowee.
Get your skates on, folks, and find 4 friends, book your tickets, and automatically enter the draw at www.thewellnesssummit.com.
TheWellnessCouch.com, streaming wellness into your lives. This is Up for a Chat with Cindy O'Meara, Karen Smith, and Kim Morrison.
Here we are, up for a chat about the hottest topics that are important to you, inspiring you to awaken the change within. I'm Karen Smith.
I'm Kim Morrison.
And our beautiful, gorgeous, spunky Cindy, well, she's in the United States at the moment. She's skiing down slopes and making gorgeous food in the snow. And she's, hopefully she's going to join us a bit later if she can make it. She's driving back from Denver, Colorado at the moment, back to her little chalet in the snow, in the Alps there. So if she can join us, she will definitely dial in. But in the meantime, Kimmy and I have somebody very special to introduce you to. Now, I'll tell you my version, and then no doubt Kimmy will tell you her version. So I came across this chickie babe on Facebook, let's say 6 months ago. And I thought, wow, she looks like a bundle of fun, bundle of energy. She's friends with Kim, she's friends with Cindy, and she's being really nice to me. So I'll be friends with her, and I checked out her page and everything that she did. And everything that I saw on her Facebook page was so full of adventure and life. And I thought, oh my God, this woman is really somebody who's like my opposite. You know, like she'll do all the stuff I'm too scared to do. And I thought, yep, totes, she's going to be my bestie for sure. And then we've really connected well on Facey. And a couple of weeks ago, I ran Speakers Fast Track. It's the last live Speakers Fast Track that I was running. And Kristen decided to come along. So the person I'm talking about, lovely people, is the beautiful Kristen Plint. And she decided to come along and join me at Speakers Fast Track because she's very involved with all 3 of us girls. And we were talking about the things that we're not doing, you know, the stuff that we're kind of holding ourselves back on. And Kristen stood up with all that she has and she said, I'm doing a Trans Borneo challenge where I'm trying to collect money and raise awareness for the orangutans in Borneo, and I haven't put my Facebook page up yet, and I haven't started raising awareness for it, and I'm holding myself back on that. Well, let me just put it this way. She could not have been in a more perfect room amongst more perfect people, and within a day, Kristen had won the hearts of absolutely everybody in that room. All of us fell in love with her mission. All of us fell in love with her. So much so now that I think there are so many people who have so much more awareness of the plight of the inharmonious balance between human and animal globally. But the upside about Kristen is that she has now given us a way to be able to help. She's going to go out and do all the adventure stuff, but she's given all the rest of us princesses a way to be able to help. So for me, I think having Kristen on Up for a Chat, and I'm also going to have her on Karen's Couch, is the most logical thing I could possibly do. Kimmy, take it away, girlfriend.
Well, actually, Kristen, I can't remember. When did we meet, sweetheart?
At the Breakthrough.
At the Breakthrough, the Wellness Breakthrough.
Yeah, we met there too.
Yeah. I think what was exciting about Kristen, and I shared it last week on the podcast, was, she's in a mining world, and she'll tell us a little bit about it. But I think just seeing her approach to life, she is a typical up for a chatter who wants it all, who wants to give her all, and also wants to see it all. And I think really she also admits she's a work in progress, like all of us. She is probably a little bit unaware of just how much of a difference she's making in the world already. And that was the message that I gave last week. If you didn't listen to last week's Up for a Chat podcast, where we mentioned about a friend of hers that works in the mining company and how he is now turned, because of her advice to listen to a podcast, has now turned it from being a sugarcane farm and wants it to become a nature reserve. And, that's really the epitome of what I believe is the ripple effect. And so, she's gone through my program, the Health and Lifestyle Educator program. She is just a force to be reckoned with. She's beautiful, and I think it's amazing that we have her here, and I hope Cindy gets to hear some of you as well. Beautiful. So welcome.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much. It's such an honor. I've got goosebumps.
Well, I think that this is just going to be one of the most fabulous conversations that we've probably had this year. I think, well, for me, because I think it's so oriented towards making this world a better place. So, Kristen, tell us a little bit about you. Like, what's made you you? When did you discover that you were this great adventurous traveller, an explorer of the world? When did you discover that that's who you were?
Well, I kind of grew up with it a little bit. My dad raised us 4 kids. We grew up out in the bush northwest of Townsville. And we grew up in a property out there. We had no electricity and no TV, thank goodness. So we had to create our own fun a fair bit. And Dad actually built, when we were kids, a mud brick house. So we were very hands-on, and we had horses and our own animals, and most of what we lived on, we grew ourselves. So I was very self-sufficient. Dad was very ahead of his time. So the good thing is, like, living like that, always being surrounded by Kim would call it Jurassic Park. Every critter you can imagine, like snakes all the time, and bats and bugs. So I'm well prepared for this trip across Borneo. And I've just always, I guess, growing up and amongst nature, I've always loved it, always loved animals as well. And I've done quite a lot of travel. I've been really privileged to see quite a lot of the world. I spent almost over the course of about 5 years, every chance I had, I would work for a few months and then take off traveling until the money ran out, and come back and beg for my job back again, and then take off again. I don't know why they kept hiring me. And yeah, so I've been really lucky. One of the first real times I noticed that you can make a change as I volunteered in Peru. I lived just outside of Cusco for a couple of months, so know the area you girls will be visiting next year very well. You're going to love it. So while we were there, we helped build a women's weaving centre. And then after that, we went down on the coast of Peru, where we were helping, that had been hit by an earthquake in 2007, and over 80% of the town had been completely destroyed. And just to see how absolutely heartbreaking it is, and these people pulling themselves out of the rubble and trying to make do with nothing. They were given 13 by 15 metre square blocks of land to live on. There'll be a family of 6 in there, and the toilet was a bucket in the corner, and they'd rebuilt out of scrap pieces of plastic and bamboo, and that nearly destroyed me when I first saw that. And so I spent a bit of time there as well, and actually travelled through South America. And I love Patagonia, like the beauty down there, to walk on glaciers and to see these mountain peaks that are just as they have been, the glaciers pushing through the rocks as they have been for the last 50 million years. So you really know just how small amount of time we are here, and we're doing so much damage to this world. And so usually my travel sort of bases on the same sort of principles. I'm passionate about human rights, and especially women's rights. I love animals and I love nature, and I'm a bit of a snowboarder, so I'm a bit jealous of Cindy at the moment. So I base each trip on that, but I've sort of noticed the same sort of theme that quite often I go to these amazing places, and one of the main drives for me to get there is to try and see it while it's still there. And it shouldn't be that way. When I went to Antarctica, it was that was one of the main reasons. I'm like, it's under so much threat, and Borneo is going to be the same thing. And one of the other driving forces is just I see these beautiful animals, say Thailand, for example. I've been there a few times, and I have a really hard time sort of relating to it, because I'll see tourists that just don't know the impact of what they're doing. They'll be posing with those beautiful little slow lorises, and the people in the street will approach them and say, photo for Facebook. And they don't realise that they get taken away from their mothers when they're babies. They rip their teeth out so they can't bite the tourists. And when they're not cute anymore, they're usually abandoned. They don't know how to live in the wild, and they'll usually starve to death and die. And sorry, it's a bit depressing.
But my love, this stuff needs to be known. People don't know what they don't know. And if there's not somebody like you bringing awareness to it, then people just go around ignorant to the way that we're contributing to the disharmony. And like you say, tourists don't realise, and they don't.
No, you see, I cringe every time I see someone who's just been to Thailand or a country like that, and they pose with the tigers. And you don't need to stop and think about it too much to know a tiger living on a metre of chain isn't right. And they feed them morphines so they, don't bite the tourists' heads off while they're posing with them. And so after a little while, I've always wanted to do Borneo, but I wanted to do it in a way that was gonna have a bit of impact and make a difference.
Can I ask you, when you're exposed to horrificness, like for many of us, we'll do the white noise, or if I don't look, it's not happening. And I myself am guilty of that sometimes, where I just hope that if I look away, it will stop. When you're confronted with that on a daily basis and you are looking at it right in the eye, what are your immediate thoughts? And then where do you go with those thoughts?
Oh, well, it depends on what I'm faced with, because I have seen some pretty heartbreaking things across the board in my travels, and I think India really, really challenged me, because every day you see something that I spent 4 months there, and just, so much heartbreak in that country across the board. But the thing is, I just know that if you just look the other way, then it's almost like you're condoning it, you're accepting it. So, for me to try and to do nothing's worse than to do something and fail. At least you tried.
Kristen, Kimmy, that's a beautiful question that you asked there, because it's something that plagues me all the time. And I see all this stuff, and particularly now because we've got social media, that it's there's a lot of people who will share, the great tragedies that are inflicted upon our farm animals, and all of that sort of thing, and obviously the orangutans in Borneo, and it's never just in one place; it's everywhere. So anywhere humankind are, they are just there's death and destruction around. The challenge that I've felt is, I feel this. I feel that it's soul destroying. Like, it literally tears my heart out, and it takes me a day to recover from seeing the tragic treatment of the animals. And for me, I know that going and actually doing the work that you're doing, like actually going out to those places, it would literally destroy me. And I'm interested to understand your makeup and your way of being, because I look at that and it's soul destructive. And I think to myself, ever since I was a kid, and I posted this on Facebook the other day, ever since I was a kid, I always knew that I was too soft to be able to go and do the rescue work and to see the animals hurt or to see anybody suffering. I was too soft to do that. But I always knew that I could make money. Even if I was stacking shelves at Woolworths, I always knew that I could make money to pay people like you and other people who were out there doing the rescuing. I always knew I could support those people who could do that work. I'm so interested to hear how, as Kim said, how you process that so that it isn't soul destroying. In fact, it lights your fire to do more.
Kim will appreciate this. I think probably I'm a bit of a we did during Kim's course the personality types, and I came up as almost probably full top left-hand corner powerful, and my first response is just you have to take action. And I know it's heartbreaking, and honestly there are going to be moments that are really going to destroy me, and quite often I feel like I'm not doing enough. I have so many causes and so much I care about and so much I see that's wrong with the world. But education is key. Like, people can make a difference now, but you can be an armchair activist. You don't have to leave your lounge room to make a difference. You can educate yourself as much as possible. There's so many fantastic resources, and share what you find, because a lot of people just don't even realise, and they would stand up and say this isn't right if only they knew. So I think that we've never had more power than what we have now. So that's what sort of drives me, is just seeing an opportunity and wanting to get in there and make a difference. Even if, like I said, even if it's only changes things for one person or one creature, then it's a bit like that old starfish story where the man throwing the starfish into the water off the beach, and his friends saying, well, how can you possibly think you're going to make a difference? You can't save them all. And he said, well, I made a difference to that one.
Yeah.
And I think you hit a poignant point there, which is what makes us all so unique and different, is some of us are better at doing the detail and organising the finances and how to raise the money. Some of us are better planners, some of us are better speakers, and some of us are the better doers, and some of us are the better heart angels. So I really hear you, and I think from Karen and my point of view, in particular, there's people like you guys that doesn't matter what, at all costs, the choleric, powerful type or the real dominant type will get in there, boots and all, and fight for justice no matter what. And you'll have the rest of us in behind you going, yeah, that's right. So you're right. It does come down to personality. And even though, Karen, you feel like you can't do it, the voice that you have and the way you portray those messages, I think everybody that's listening to this would also agree, whilst it's different, it's just as powerful.
I think for me, I always wanted to, I think the whole reason why I started my business in the first place, as my why, was always to be able to make a difference to the animals. So I always contribute, part of my profits to animals, societies and protection societies and so on. But I think that it's always been like that. I just wish I had that same strength to be amongst the front line. I find it so inspiring.
But Karen, I said to you the other day on Facebook that what you're providing is amazing, because you're actually providing a voice for these animals, and that's something they haven't really had before. And I think that's kind of what they need the most.
So moving away from the actual, that's part of your makeup, but it's not your whole drive. Give us a little bit of a background as to what you do for a job, and then I guess is what my question is that financing you to do these trips, or what's your big picture version of what this all looks like? So tell us your background as far as work, if that's financing what you're doing, and then in turn, what's your big vision for this?
It looks like we've lost Kristen. She's just put a message through saying that she's lost us. And that was such a good question, Kimmy.
Oh,
I just came back, Kim.
Oh, yay, we got you.
Oh, did you hear the question, my love?
I didn't.
Okay, so give us a little bit of a background as to what you do in your work. Is this what's financing you to do these trips and this awareness and rescuing of animals as such? And then the big picture, is this what you want to be doing full time, or what do you see the future for you?
Yeah, no, well, my work's probably not too long-term a future because it does cause a bit of conflict with me. I work in mining, and it has been an amazing opportunity and platform for me to go off and do these trips overseas, and it's definitely helping fund this trip now. But I'm also I care a lot about the environment too, so I do feel a little bit conflicted. But I think it's possible to sort of to make a difference and make the best of any situation you're in. I've got work can be pretty fun. I am the only girl on my shift, so that can be a little bit challenging at times. But the boys, they take fairly good care of me usually. So I load the ships out of Mackay. So big giant 300-meter ships, and probably the blokiest job you could find at times. And I would really love. I've always had the drive to work with probably human rights and animals and stuff. So I know that I've got a future in that. Just got to find a way to make that happen.
What drives you?
Oh, I have an intense interest in so many things. I can be quite unproductive in other areas, which would probably explain why I'm a little bit behind in Cindy's course at the moment. Sorry, but yeah, I've just got a thirst for knowledge. I want to know how the world works. I kind of have a slight distrust in organisations. I think that we could all be doing better, and we're all being duped a little bit in so many different areas. So for me, if I can just keep learning and educating myself and like from my world has changed since I first discovered you guys a year ago. And Kim, I do keep you in contact with how the ripple effect is going in my work. So I've got a few guys that are using essential oils now and to help them sleep for night shifts.
I love that.
It's really quite cute. And they all don't know which one the other one is that uses them.
Oh, so nobody's talking about it, Secret Squirrel?
No. And my friend that is setting up the nature reserve, he would be mortified if I mentioned his name, but he's doing amazing things and it's really quite good. I know he listens to both Up for a Chat and Karen's Couch.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he actually came in one day, he goes, I bought a book off one of those shows the other day. And I was like, really? So, it's having that effect. And
hey, Kristen, just before you go on, there's a lot of our listeners who would love nothing more than to convert their partners, their fathers, their friends, their wives. There's a lot of people that wish, like anything, that the people they love the most could actually understand the language and the intention and all the information that we have. But we all know sometimes the hardest ones to convert are loved ones, friends, or particularly those that are knocking us. Can you just give us a little tell us the story around this gentleman? I'm sure if we don't mention his name, he won't mind. But just give us a rundown. It could inspire someone else listening to this as to how you worked him, let's just say.
You'll think I'm so manipulative. Well,
you were.
The first thing I did, though, was work on myself. Like I still have a lot of work to do, but I started there first. And people have sort of sat up and taken notice. Like at first, You know, you come in with something that looks totally weird for lunch, and almost every day they go, "What the hell is that?" at the lunch table. But then, you know, after a little while, they'll start saying, "Oh, well, what do you think of this? And is this all right?" And they'll ask questions. I've had a few of them now read Dr. William Davis's Wheat Belly book, which is pretty amazing. So a couple of them actually giving up gluten and wheat.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and the other thing is, I have this opportunity when I'm at work. I'll unload the trains, and it's so good. Like, I was able to do all, like, Kim's course. Like, I did a lot of study while I was there, and that's where I listen to most of my podcasts, because I can have something on in the background. And so normally, my workmate, he comes in and he'll usually catch some of what I'm listening to, and he'll sort of say, "Oh, all right, so what are we being brainwashed with today?" And he didn't really have a lot of faith in what I was listening to, and I'd try and throw whatever topic at him, and he was just like, "All right, that's a bit out there." But I got him to listen to your podcast with the Wellness Guys from a couple of years ago, Kim. And that was the first I ever heard of any of you ladies, and it was like that very podcast, and that was the first thing that ever really got through to me. And I just find so much power in that particular episode. So I had him listen to that, and then came back, and he went home, and he was like, "Yep, that's, you know," it stunned him a little bit. And so we just sort of continued on like that, and it was really quite lovely. He said he went home for his wife and didn't want to he puts lotion on her feet every night, which is really quite lovely. And he said he didn't want to put the lotion on her feet anymore because it thought it was full of toxins, and made up his own little version with lavender, and was starting to think about the chemicals around his house. And it all just sort of progressed from there. It was really quite natural. And it's sort of been that way here at home too with my own boyfriend. He's changed so much in the past year since I've been listening to you ladies, and I don't think he even realises it yet.
So what do you do when they're going, "Oh, you're being brainwashed"? Like, give it to me in that tone. "Oh, you're being brainwashed." Gosh, do you get your heckles up? Does your heart rate start building? Do you want to sock it to them? Like, how do you react, and then how do you get over that?
I go into work every day ready for battle. I'm the only girl with a big crew of guys, so there's something that I have to stand up for myself most days. But it's up to them. They can take it or leave it. If, like I said, just from doing my own thing, and they've seen the change in myself in all areas, that I think they haven't had can't help but to stand up and take notice. They can see it's obviously working for me, and they're slowly coming around. It's quite surprising the little conversations I can have with them when they're on their own. In a group environment, it's usually very different.
That would be a real key, actually, and I've always found that too. When even as a parent, talking to your children, you know, embarrassing them in front of other people, or then having the banter between brothers and sisters or whatever. Sometimes wait for the emotions to die down a little, and then actually go in there and have a conversation, or why do you think it's brainwashing? And it's, for me, whenever I have people, you know, say, "Oh, it's just a load of rubbish," I go, "Oh, wow, okay, I'm really keen to learn more here." Like seriously, if I am being brainwashed, what were your indicators to say it was rubbish? And I'm really genuinely interested on how they got to that place. And often, if you go in with that more like a softer approach, or questioning them on why they think the way they think, often people want to be heard for what they believe in too. And I think that's something that you did very well in this situation, and I've noticed you do very well, particularly in such a hard-nosed environment. And, you know, I think that's a really good point that you make. What do you feel, though, as far as, so let's say one of them listens and now they're all starting to, or a few of them are starting to think this way. What's your next job then with them? What do you feel like there's a role that you play in the next level, or do they keep coming back to you?
I think they'll keep, if they decide they do want to make a little change, they'll probably come back again, and they'll usually ask a few questions, and I think sometimes the progress can be small bite-sized chunks. Brett Hill had to eat an elephant bite at a time, and I'd love to see some of the things change in that area, because it's a pretty, working shift work's pretty tough, and there's a lot of confusion with health. But you've definitely, your messages, listening to your podcasts, they're logical, and they make sense if you sit down and listen to them. So I just say, try reading this book or have a listen to that. And I'm always putting podcasts on their phones. They don't always listen to them.
What, when they're not looking?
They're there if they ever want to.
Oh, that's funny. But I think that what you're saying, Kristen, is that you've really been an example for them. Simply, and not because you're saying, here, do this, or you're a peanut. You're basically just making the changes for yourself. They're seeing it and wondering how you got like that, or how you eat that way, and seeing you, I guess, as a bit of a go-to person, because you are the sponge for knowledge. And most people are so unsure or so unclear, or don't even think about potentially even just the food on their plate, or the environment that they're breathing in, or the things that they're thinking. They're completely oblivious to it. It's also unconscious and random. And to see somebody who is conscious and not so random, and very driven and very focused and very clear about her role on this planet, I think that's very encouraging for other people to be inspired by that. And then, as we say, make you a go-to person.
Yeah, well, I've had 3 very good mentors. It's definitely changed. Everything's changed a lot since I first started listening to, you ladies and the entire Wellness Couch. So I think for myself, having this constant access to knowledge, what the entire Wellness Couch, what you all offer each week and are sharing, it's really helping me keep the finger on the pulse, that I can't help but just go out, and if I find an opening to talk to any of these guys, like if I find the smallest chink in their armour, I just squeeze in there and just
you're funny,
work away at them. And it's just, if the opportunity comes up, I sort of jump at it, but I'm not pushing through. Yeah, well, I can be pushy, but evangelical maybe, not too. Yeah, I'm not. I'm trying to just do my own thing, and if people are interested, they're interested.
And so, what does your boyfriend think about your travelling and your focus on human rights and animal welfare and all of that? Is he cut from the same cloth, or is he different to you?
No, he's so different.
Is he?
I came home, I found about the Trans Borneo Challenge when I was on night shift, and it's a 23-day trek, and I applied and signed up on the spot, even though I must have found a little wormhole in the system and got myself in there before they'd officially opened it. I was that keen. And at about 3 o'clock in the morning, mind you, on a night shift. And then I came home and I was like, so I'm doing this trip and it's going to go for 23 days through Borneo, and did you want to come? He's like, what? Where has all this come from? And he's like, I'll just stay home and take care of the veggie patch and the bird. And he's happy with that. And he just supports me to go on my little adventure too, which is good. He doesn't always have to. I think I meet a lot of people that couples that really want to go see the world and do stuff, but the other partner doesn't want to, so they don't end up going and seeing what they want to see. And I feel like that could only really, after a while, lead to resentment if you're not doing the things you really want to do. I don't think you necessarily always have to do that together.
And opposites do attract too. And I think it's, while one's off doing stuff, another one's likely to be a bit more stable.
Oh, he's a lot more stable than me. He's the responsible one.
He's the responsible. It sounds like me and Matt. It's perfect. Just perfect.
Oh yeah, well, he stocked up on his fridge. Stocked up the fridge before I went away last week as well.
With tomato sauce?
Oh, sausages.
Yeah, right. Nice.
Hey,
Kristen, we'll come back to the Borneo project because I'd love you to tell us a little bit more about the orangutan project and the Borneo, the trans Borneo Challenge. What I'd love to know is, okay, so you've been up for a chat, a wellness couch, a listener from a whole lot of shows. Tell us some of your big take-homes. Some of the big things you've learnt the most that have really been easily, or maybe not even easily, but you've applied to your life and you've seen a big difference. What are some of the things that have really floated your boat and made you go, OMG?
Oh, wow. The Mind Forum podcast you ladies did, that I had made sure anyone that I could, I tried to make everyone listen to that. That really scared the bejesus out of me, just knowing what's really happening out there. And I'm trying to think of some of my real favourites. I went through, I've listened to everything. So I've had the most massive year of education. Like I said, the first time I heard you talk with the one on chemicals, that really resonated with me and everything sort of fell into place. I was feeling really lost, and I just to have someone who could explain it so well and so clearly, and just to, it gave me a really big wake up call. I loved hearing you talk with Jacqueline. Interact with Jacqueline. That was a real favourite.
That was awesome, wasn't it?
Oh wow! What a beautiful, beautiful woman.
Mm.
So, but I think you'd be surprised. Sometimes it's just a little hidden gem in amongst a podcast where I think, oh, that topic isn't really relevant to me, but there's just a little diamond in amongst it. And other times I'll listen to the podcast a couple of times just to make sure I've got it all. I loved the one with Jodie Nolan. I actually bought her book when I was in your office last week, Kim. Oh. And I haven't even read it yet because my friend at work's reading it before I am, because he really liked that episode as well. So you've offered so much on every basis. There's so much information there if you're willing to take the time and listen to it. So most of the time, by the time I get up in the morning, I might put something on FMTV or something like that while I'm making my breakfast, and watch a bit of that, and then the 25 minutes while I'm driving to work, I'll listen to the better part of a podcast, and I've got nearly 50 minutes or an hour of learning under my belt before my day's even started.
You make a really good point, actually, and we all have the same number of hours in a day. We've said this on many podcasts, but I think what it sounds to me like every moment, okay, you don't have children and you're not having to get up at all hours for the little people, but I think you're making use of your time and listening to shows, turning on FMTV. I mean, I am so excited to be a subscriber of that now, and when I listen to different shows and I'm watching that with no interruptions, no ads, and I'm getting what seems to be incredibly logical and very scientific on one level, and esoteric, and then beautiful and spiritual, and all the different realms that we want. I think what's important that I'm hearing from you is, and you've already said it, is around education. What do you think is the way forward for someone who perhaps, what's your go-tos? I don't necessarily mean on our shows, but I mean, like, what are your go-tos? What does your day look like? What does your food look like? What does your spiritual realm look like? What are your go-tos?
Oh my goodness. I'm a shift worker. There is very little consistency in my days. So I wish I would love to have a routine, but it's always all over the place in that sense. But what I've definitely got from you, Kim, is my oils are my everything. I've always got some oil on me, beside me, in the diffuser, in the car, at work. So I think that's my little way, especially if I'm feeling run down, of giving myself the boost. And all of my family, I'm just hooked on the oils now as well. My food can be, I'm still evolving. I'm still changing. I'm miles away from where I was last year. But I know I've still got a long way to go. But I think I've learnt so much from the three of you, and especially Cindy, just using whole single ingredients and whole foods, and that comes into play with how we can really help the orangutans as well. Because then you know what you're cooking and you're eating with. People would be horrified if they knew what palm oil was in so many of their products. But if you learn to cook from scratch, you can avoid all of that. I need to work on my exercise, especially to do this trek. That's all of this learning hasn't really. I still have a long way to go. That side of things has fallen behind. I overcommitted with the learning a little bit this year. I was like, I had my brain in the clouds for a fair while, and then I just wanted to play catch up so fierce and intensely, and now I need to start really putting a lot more of that into action.
Nice. And food wise, are you paleo, vegan, vegetarian, breatharian? Like, what's your philosophy?
Well, I follow Cindy's qualitarian principles. So I've got the best pantry since I started listening to you ladies. I love sending pictures to my sister because she's just like, oh my gosh, I don't hold back now when it comes to food choices. If I see something really amazing, then I don't care about the costs. If it's good quality, I'm going to stock up my fridge and my pantry. I'm starting to use a little bit of the cultured wellness, but I think I'm not quite ready to go full at that yet, because each time I've had it, it's like I've started a bit of a war. And I feel very ill after it. So I know I've got a lot of work to do, and fair chance I've probably just through my travels, who knows where my health. I've got a long way to sort of go with that. I've definitely loved listening to Cindy's daughter's progress recently.
I was imagining that you would see a lot of yourself in that, given where you've been.
Yeah, yes, definitely. So I was like, oh gosh, especially because I'm not. I just get in amongst it. So I've lived with host families. I've slept on the floors. Like I have an ability to find these locals, and they'll just sometimes just take me in. So I sleep on their kitchen floor because that's the only place they got to put me up. And yeah, I probably shouldn't have been walking around India in thongs, but I was comfortable like that. So who knows? And the food I've eaten, oh gosh. But I did watch Cowspiracy last night. I don't know.
Yeah.
Have you ladies watched that?
Yes.
Oh gosh, and this has really hit home to me again, just that so much of what we put on our plate has a global impact. And so now I really need to start reining in. I know my body thrives having meat, but I also know that I can make a lot better choices and probably reduce it down a lot, and maybe even just try going completely without for a little while. My dad has fantastic. He's got ducks and chickens and stuff like that. He's building my sister a straw bale house down the Sunshine Coast at the moment.
Oh, beautiful.
And it's really good when you can get access to animals that have been farmed in such a good way and in a natural environment. And I think I want to steer myself more towards that and more towards growing my own food as much as I can, because that's what's going to make the impact, health-wise and environmental-wise.
And it's challenging with where you are and the work that you're doing, isn't it? I mean, I'm actually just getting the full picture of all of this now for you, and it would be very tough.
Oh, I'm a little bit lucky. I've got 20 mango trees out the back just about to ripen up, and I'm a little bit of a hunter-gatherer. So I
no way.
I
would have said mini Bear Grylls myself.
I know where every fruit tree is within like a 10k radius. So I'm like, I'll go for a walk and come back with like passion fruits in my pockets and a pawpaw that's off the tree and a couple of lemons, and then the fish I eat is the fish I've usually caught myself or my wonderful workmates. But one of them, he also keeps me well stocked up with fish as well, and I know that's wild caught. It's the most beautiful It's called
Stunning.
Yeah,
I've had some.
So the last time he went fishing, he went 240 kilometres offshore, and you're never going to get cleaner, healthier fish than that. And so having that a little bit every now and then is pretty good. But yeah, I still feel very conflicted when I watch stuff like Cowspiracy. I know there's a lot of room for improvement.
And I think that, as you said before, at the very beginning of the call, is that education's everything. You know, when a person's educated, then they can make choice. But if a person doesn't have the education or the information or the awareness or even the desire for that, then all that they are is just caught in this zombified way of being where nobody's choosing anything, but they're choosing ignorance out of ignorance, you know?
And advertising's so powerful.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! If you learn to, it's so liberating when you go to the supermarkets now and you don't have that magnetic pull to all of that junk and that fake food. And once you start eating better, you don't have that interest anymore. And you get people are just being duped, and it's just, they say health food's expensive, but you're buying. I say paying money for food like products is really expensive, because what a jip.
But sickness is even more expensive, right?
Oh yeah,
You know,
but also if we wanted to go into it, they say that over 50% of what's on the supermarket shelves has got palm oil in it. So that's just if you mindlessly filled your shopping trolley, then in my viewpoint, then you're helping drive this deforestation and this destruction, and it covers so many different bases. So it's
let's talk about that. Let's talk about the challenge and what it's actually for. So who are you doing it through?
Okay, so I'm doing it through, it's actually for ecotourism, an organisation called Orangutan Odysseys, and it's a pretty crazy little trek. I sort of signed up for it first chance, like I said, when I had a chance, and it's rated as extreme, challenging, just hardcore.
Oh God!
And I was like, sounds amazing. Top hard adventure extreme. So it's 23 days trekking from, it's not all trekking, so we're going by canoes and trucks and walking and lots of tough trekking. So 8 days of it is trekking through the jungle alone, and it's very thick jungle, so we sort of have to follow the river along. And I think I was talking to the tour leader, he said we do 100 river crossings and creek crossings, and it's just, I've seen pictures of the girls who did it last year and their feet were just so swollen, and it's going to be, I was just talking to my dad recently, I think hopefully there's no crocodiles up the way. That's the only thing
Oh my Lord.
I'm
really
thinking of
scared of.
leeches. I'm just thinking leeches and slimy things.
No, gosh, they're okay. But
Are you kidding? You say leeches are okay. Are you kidding? Oh my God.
They wouldn't eat as much as a crocodile would.
Oh, shit.
True.
Oh.
True. Let's keep it in perspective here.
Yeah.
But I mean, we don't even have a tent. We're just sleeping under a tarp in the jungle.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You're going to wake up with a snake in your bloody pants. Like,
Oh, thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
Look, I just gotta-
are
I just
there
gotta-
any boys going on this trip?
I wasn't meaning that, you tart.
It had to happen.
Yeah, it was bound to happen at some point.
Yes, but we're actually raising for, it's called the Orangutan Project, and we're hoping to get through over the last 3 years. This is the 4th year they've run it, but over the last 3 years they've managed to raise $100,000 to go towards the Orangutan Project. But this year we want to get $100,000 just by ourselves this year alone.
So tell us a bit about that. Like, what do we know currently about the orangutans, the forests? How many are left? What their plight is. What do we know about that?
Well, the Sumatran orangutans are the one there, and there's about probably 5,000, 6,000 left in the wild, and the Indonesian government's fairly well signing their death sentence at the moment. It's not good. There's a lot of clearing that's been approved to go on over there.
For palm oil?
Yeah, and logging and just a few different, and mining as well. So we're being, the Indonesian government, I don't want to get
political.
No, I'm always I think I lose Facebook friends every day through my
So what are they actually doing with the orangutans that are losing their homes? Are they relocating them?
Well, the reason why they've sort of chosen the orangutans, and I think it's quite lovely, it's the orangutans have used it as sort of the face of the forest, because they live in the trees. They're the only apes that live fully in the trees, and they share 97% of our DNA. They are so close to being human, it's not funny. And the reason, if you look at it in that sense, that if you can save the orangutan, then they live in solitude usually, so that they need quite a lot of space on their own. They're very rare. They don't live in groups as like a lot of monkeys and that would. And so if you can save an orangutan, then you're saving the trees and the other animals that live in and under the trees and the other plants, and it sort of carries on. So by focusing on this one species, it's just become an umbrella species. It's really quite beautiful to think that if you're saving the orangutans, you're saving the forest.
Yeah. And so with the Indonesian government, as you say, that they've signed their death warrant because of the logging and for palm oil and for just about everything else that they're trying to extract from those forests, are they taking the orangutans and relocating them? Or do they just cut down the trees, the orangutan falls to the ground, and then they just let them...
Well, a lot of it, like I said, it's a lot of this is coming back on our responsibility by buying these products. We're providing a market, but it's a bit of these beautiful creatures are losing their homes, so they're being driven out of the forest, be it by fires or illegal logging or land clearing.
And where do they go?
And then sometimes they're going into plantations, and then the locals either want to protect their farms. And I just watched a video earlier of a beautiful elephant that had been killed, and the locals said, "Oh well, he was trampling our crops," and so the locals, it's their livelihood. They're trying to support themselves, and that there's a lot of misunderstanding there, I think. So there needs to be a way that my ultimate dream would be to be able to get enough money to actually. Right now, we're raising money to just help protect the land and put rangers in place that can patrol areas and protect what's already there. But it'd be great to help buy back land and employ these same farmers to start replanting. That would be ideal, because they still need an industry. But when these big companies are going in and clearing land or using uncertified palm oil, then it's all. Sorry, even the little local tribal communities, they're losing their homes and livelihoods as well.
Can I ask a question? Palm oil, what is it used for? What's it about? Do you know much about palm oil?
Yeah, well, it's one of those tricky ones. So, like I said before, they say about between 40 and 50% of everything you see on the supermarket shelves, palm oil in it. And it's a bit like, I know Cindy sort of mentioned MSG before. It's got a lot of different names, and palm oil's the same. I think it's about 170 different names, up to 200. So they're just labelling it with all of these different names to hide it, sort of thing. So am I allowed to say what sort of companies use this palm oil?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
All right, so I'll give you a little list of what you would sort of find it in, and it might surprise you a little bit, because it's even surprised me and given me a bit of a, like recently I realised that the razor I have has a little moisturising strip, the Gillette razor, and it's got palm oil in it. Yeah. So if you're looking at Nivea, Dove, Garnier, deodorants and stuff like that, anything that's got that moisturising lotion in it, it's in there. It's in Sultana brand and Just Bright, Doritos, peanut butter. Cadbury uses it, and I'm a little bit dirty with that because they say that they'll aim to end their forest loss by 2030. So the orangutans won't be left by then. It's in noodles, and Karen, well, look out, Matt, it's in Ice Magic.
Oh, no. Catastrophe. When you told me that it was in Cadbury's, I was like, you've got to be joking.
Yeah.
He's going to have a fit. But interestingly enough, no Cadbury's in the house.
Oh, how good's that?
Never will be again.
But, it's in hand wash and laundry liquid and shampoos, conditioners. Sometimes it's what they use for sodium lauryl sulfate. So most of the shampoos, most of the shampoos and conditioners you see on the shelves have got palm oil in it. So the best way, people really want to stop buying it. There's a fantastic app out there. It's by a group called Palm Oil Investigations.
I'm onto it right now.
They've got a really good Facebook page, and they'll tell you what product has uncertified, or if they have the other products a comparative product that have got an active no deforestation policy, and then so you can really make a choice. But they have a free app. You can just download it for both iPhones and Android. It's called Palm Oil Investigations, and you scan the barcode, and it'll tell you whether it's certified, and so you can make the decision as you're putting in the trolley. And it's good just to know the good guys and who's worth supporting, because voting with your dollar, that's where you can make a difference. That's what gets these big companies sitting up and listening.
Totally. I've got it up now. It's called Palm Oil Barcode Scanner.
Yeah.
So is there such a good thing as good palm oil? And Can you tell us what that's about?
There is some sustainable palm oil. It's one of those little bit of a tricky subjects. I know that it exists, and that's the good thing when you use an app like that. They've done the homework, and they'll sort of say, this company is working towards certified no deforestation policy palm oil, or this one is like, nah, they don't have any interest at all, because they also say, like, their little greenwash lingo, like palm oil derivatives, and that's still using the products, and it's really hard to cut through all of the jargon and get to the truth. And these groups that are, like I said, you can be really clever, and with armchair activism you can learn so much. And the most important thing, as I can say, is that I'm not an expert on this. I'm just really passionate about it, and I've seen an opportunity for me to jump on board something great and to try and make a difference. And that's why I went for it. And every day I'm learning and trying not to let it get me down. It definitely, when I see stuff where I think I'm educated and I'm like, oh God, I had no idea.
I think you. Oh, sorry, Karen.
No, you're right, love.
Oh, I was just going to say, I think it's really important that we don't get down. I mean, you can get down, you can be in the moment, you can be emotional, we can be upset, all of those things. But then the most important thing is to take action, or you have a choice to do something about that. And I've heard Karen say it many times, and I love it. Sometimes it takes us to be really angry as much as to be really excited to actually make a change. Would you agree, Karen?
Yeah, it's that contrasting feeling. You bounce off it to get your spark. I've just pulled up a website here, A2ZAnimals.com, and it's listed Aero, Ben & Jerry's, The Body Shop, Cadbury's, Clinique, Colgate Palmolive, Crunchy Nut Clusters, Elizabeth Arden, Dove, Gillette Shaving Cream, Herbal Essences, Johnson & Johnson's Baby Shampoos, Kit Kat, Maltesers, Mars Bars, Max Factor, Palmolive, Mrs. Palmer's Cocoa Butter, Oil of Olay, Pears, Ritz, Pringles, Rose's Chocolates, and Quality Street, just as some of them. But what it actually says here is it says that under the current European legislation, companies are under no obligation to state whether or not their products contain palm oil specifically, as it currently permits palm oil to be stated in the ingredients as vegetable oil.
So 70% of the time, if it says vegetable oil, it's actually palm oil.
Wow.
So yeah, it's hiding in a lot of things, and so those beautiful gooey chocolate centers, the Cadbury roses and the favourites and stuff, like it's actually the palm oil that gives it that flow, so it doesn't set. So I think actually Mars might have turned the page, and they're improving from what I read recently. So that's one of that list that I think some of them they're buckling down to pressure. I really quite admire. Do you follow Food Babe at all?
No.
Well, she's always sort of takes on these big corporations, and she has her Food Babe army, and she'll get people together to petition hard to say her thing is just having ingredients that are quite toxic and bad for you, and she petitions them to say you've got to remove this, and especially a lot of the in the States, a lot of the larger companies, like she's taken on Subway and stuff like that to change their ingredients, and she'll get her army she'll get 400,000 people to email them overnight, and they give in. So it'd be amazing. Maybe we need to get a Karen Smith army.
I'm on.
For babies.
I'm on.
Is palm oil bad for you if you eat it? Do you know?
I'm just looking at it here, Kimmy. I've just brought it up on Wikipedia as well.
Oh,
Is it an oil that we should be avoiding? Or is it a man-made oil like canola oil? Obviously, it's not man-made, but is there a process that goes through that creates more synthetic compounds or things around it? Like, what do you know about it?
It's especially high concentration of saturated fats.
If I was a better Cindy O'Meara student, I would have the best answer for that.
I was hoping you'd have that.
I've just, I need to do some more research on that, because I just went, not interested in sort of knowing about it. And it doesn't fit with my food eating philosophy these days anyway, because most of the food types that have got the palm oil in it are overly processed, packaged junk, and I'm trying as much as I can to cook from scratch with single food ingredients and using the best quality I could find. So
I've got something here.
Here we go.
The oil is filtered and bleached to refine it and to remove the smell, because apparently the smell is not appealing. And they also need to recolor it. So it produces what's called a refined, bleached and deodorized palm oil.
Oh,
and if Cindy was on the call, she'd be saying, we don't go there.
Just stay away from it. I remember when we did the podcast on vegetable oils. Back then, we were all horrified that vegetable oils was another name for bloody candle wax. Now, it's used for cooking and in so many products. And every website that I've pulled up just in the last couple of minutes while you guys have been talking says that palm oil is in practically every product that we see on the shelves in our shopping centres. It's insane here. And it's been farmed in Indonesia, Malaysia, Nigeria, Thailand, Colombia. And that's just a start. Kenya, Cameroon, Ghana. Like, that's just a start.
I really think so much of what we're putting on our plates, if we just knew the full extent that it had through whether it be deforestation for palm oils or clearing land to grow soybeans, soy to feed cattle, and if we really knew what the true cost of what we're putting on our plate was, then we'd make such a big difference. I mean, I think we need to have way more vegetable patches and a lot less lawn in Australia. It's mad that we're not growing more food. So if we shopped at farmers markets.
Yeah, well, when we put it into perspective, though, and I don't know, I just try to look this up again, but if I recall, and it's saying on one of these things here, between 1990 and 2010, an area of forest the size of 2 million football fields was cleared to make way to get the oil. So I don't even know if we could picture that. That's a lot of land.
It's actually 300 football fields every hour being cleared in Southeast Asia, every hour of every day. 300 football fields.
Sick.
So it's just it's not sustainable. We can't go on the way we are, and it's got to be a change driven on a global scale. Like the consumers need to make the push, because obviously I don't know if it's too big a problem for the government, or the government's too corrupt or short-sighted, or what's really happening. But I want to know is why Indonesia's been burning for 4 months and nothing's being said on the news. Like, it took 2 months of Indonesia being on fire before it actually made the mainstream media. So this is where I do get a little bit angry.
Yeah, where's our attention going?
Yeah, exactly. But Kim Kardashian can, break the internet with a, picture of in some dress or a picture of a bum.
I'm also just looking.
How is it right?
I'm also just looking here now. It says several studies have linked palm oil to higher risks of cardiovascular disease since the 2005 study. They say that it increased deaths by 68%.
Gosh.
So there's enough evidence to say stay the hell away from it.
Yeah. Nothing good can come from it.
No, there's nothing good can come from it. Not in any way, shape or form. And I love what you said earlier, in that the only way these companies get the message is when we pay with our pockets.
Yeah.
We hit them at the cash register, because other than that, they're not listening, and everything is about profits. They could not give a damn about the animal. They could not give a damn about the forests. They could not give a damn about the extinction of the animals. They couldn't give a rat's patootie about any of that. All they're caring about is last year's profit less than this year's profit, and what have we got to do to increase it?
Well, and I think the other thing, if it's such a big commodity, like anything in the world, if we can make it a sustainable entity, then maybe there wouldn't be such an outcry with the palm oil. I mean, I do know that it is a very high-yielding plant, which is why it's so popular in so many things. But according to the WWF, they actually are doing things like, apparently, here I've just looked up with the WWFs, around 18% of the world's palm oil production was certified sustainable in 2014, which is up 10% from 2011. So maybe if it is such an incredible product, or it is such a great thing to be used, and it is an alternative to other things, then surely we could be finding a way to move into a more sustainable approach to it. Do you think that's possible?
Yeah, definitely. And that's where we need to know, who the good guys are, who are the ones that are trying to do the right thing. And like we said, we've established it's probably still best to be avoided. But if you want to go down that path, then find the companies that do have a active no deforestation policy, that want to do the right thing. And like I said, if people start buying from them, the others won't be able to help but sit up and take notice.
Well, the World Wildlife Funding Corporation is all about creating that. And I think, like you said at the very beginning, if we actually get in behind the corporations that are trying to do the work, and let's find an answer for both sides. And I think so what's your goal with how much you're raising for your Trans Borneo Challenge? What are you aiming for?
Oh, well, the actual challenge that they've set for me is, well, for the whole group, there'll be 10 of us all up. There's actually a few spots still available. And we want to raise up to $100,000. But every dollar we can raise makes a huge difference, because I think $65 can go towards adopting an orphan orangutan for a year. And the reason why, you'll see if you go on a lot of the sites, the orphan orangutans, they're one of the animals that live the longest with their mothers. So they'll live up with their mothers for up to 7 or 8 years. And when the parents have been killed, the mother's been killed, these little ones, it's a really slow rehabilitation process to give them the skills that they need to rehabilitate them. So $65 a year can help provide the training and the food and can make a really big difference. So I'm just happy and grateful for anything I can get that makes a difference. And I just want to be across there and really see what's happening and document it as much as I can while I'm over there, and just put my little angry rants out there and call call some of these big corporations out a little bit.
So, my love, we are at the end of our time, and I think this is, it would be criminal for us to not give people a way to be able to support if they want to. So what should people do if they want to support? Because you actually said to me that $10 also helps them protect 1 hectare of land. Is that right?
Yeah, so that goes towards getting the rangers to do the monitoring and patrolling and keeping an eye on the orangutans. So I think they say there's about 1.5 to 2 orangutans can live in a kilometre squared. So when they've re-released them into the wild, a ranger usually will have a 10 kilometre square monitoring patrol area. So they'll usually be able to keep track of about 20 a year. So the more we can raise, the more, I think the $10 can go for up to a month sort of thing of protecting each hectare. And the more you can raise, I think if you can protect their environment, then you're not only protecting the orangutans, there's a lot of other creatures in amongst it. So,
well, the tigers, aren't they? The Sumatran
tigers.
Very big.
And the elephants, there's some, and even, I just think every creature's important, be it the, frogs and the bugs and whatever. It's all part of the ecosystem. They're all there for a reason. We're the only species that doesn't give back.
Okay, so if people want to, if people want to contribute $10 or $1,000, maybe $10,000, just putting it out there. If anybody wants to contribute, how do they do that, and what's the best way for them to do that so that it's all tracked and it's all above board?
Okay, so it's all through, I've got a fundraising page set up through Just Giving, and this goes towards our Trans Borneo Challenge page. So it's really good because I actually quite like that it gets sent straight to the Orangutan Project. It's not waiting until we finally leave before it starts taking action, because it should start helping these little orangutans right away. So it's on justgiving.com/Kristin, CHRISTIN -TBC. And so that's my fundraising page. So once you've donated, all of your receipts will get emailed straight out to you, so it's tax deductible as well. And also you'll be able to follow my progress along the way, because I really the main thing is I want people to see what I'm doing over there and to see where the money is going, because I know it takes a lot to put faith in someone and your money, and every dollar does count. And also you can, like I said before, be an armchair activist. Start reading, start researching, start sharing, get the Palm Oil Investigations app. Just try and raise awareness as much as you can, because I think every little bit's going to count across the board in all areas.
Oh, it's so exciting. Thank you so much on behalf of us princesses that may not cope with the leeches and crocodiles.
Thank you.
It's a shame you haven't got Cindy on the phone, because she'd be in there going, I might end up doing it with you.
I reckon she would. Hey, I reckon Cindy would totally be in for that.
Yeah, it would be up her alley. Well, she's already been to Borneo, she said. So,
yeah, but has she trekked through shoulder height water?
Oh, well, let's see what I've got. Last year's one, that they had a flash flood and they were trying to cross the scary river, and I was like, oh, it's almost borderline scary for me.
Oh, see, now the person can say that that's almost borderline scary. I mean, honestly, Kimmy, that's just automatically rules it out.
But we can help this way, and we'll get it out there. And I think I just want to say, good on you. Good on you for standing up, for believing in something, and then taking action on doing it. And I think that's the thing that we all love about you the most, Kristin. And you really do put your money where your mouth is. And for that, I just want to say to you that we are very proud and very excited. So thank you, darling.
Oh, no, thank you. I'm so grateful to be on here and just for this opportunity. It's just, I really want to do everything I can to make everybody proud and to make every dollar count.
Well, I tell you one thing, we are so looking forward to seeing your documentary, if you like, of your trek, because I think that is going to be where the big transformations come for people, and the big aha moments where we're a normal person just like us stands up and says one person can make a difference. And I think what you're going to do, Kristen, is you're going to inspire a lot of people to start to think, well, hang on a second, I'm not so little after all. Maybe I can take a step in the right direction. Maybe I can contribute in whatever it is that they feel passionate to contribute to. So I think you're going to give a lot of people permission to really step into the things that they are interested in, passionate about, and want to see, some change made. So thank you for being you, you beautiful soul.
Thank you so much. I'm so, so grateful.
Now, we're going to put the website for the donations and the contribution to the Trans Borneo Challenge on our Facebook page. So whip on over there right now to allthews.facebook.com/up-for-a-chat. Whip on over there, and if you can just even give $1 or just, as little as you possibly can, that would be absolutely fantastic. So whip on over to the Facebook page again, allthews.facebook.com/up-for-a-chat, and post your comments and questions for Kristen. Also, you can do you can pop your comments and questions at allthews.thewellnesscouch.com/up-for-a-chat. Now, hopefully you've loved today's podcast as much as we've had. Unleash the beast within. If you're passionate about something, let us know. Put your comments on our Facebook page. Send us a private message, because you never know. We may just invite you to be on the show too. So go ahead and let us know what you're up to. We love you to pieces. Keep us posted on your adventures, Kristen, and thank you so much for being a part of Up for a Chat. Everybody that's listening, join us here next week on Up for a Chat and become part of the ripple effect. And it is that's changing the world. We're going to see you next week. We love having you on the ride.
This has been a production of TheWellnessCouch.com. Check us out on Facebook and join in the conversation on Facebook.com/TheWellnessCouch. Subscribe to each show on iTunes and check us out on Twitter. The Wellness Couch, streaming wellness into your lives. Whilst the Wellness Couch presenter endeavor to provide accurate and helpful information to their listeners, these podcasts cannot take into account individual circumstances and are not intended to be a substitute for health and medical advice from a qualified health professional. You should always seek the advice of a qualified health professional before acting on any of the information provided by any of the Wellness Couch podcasts.